إن الحمد لله إن الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأنبياء والمرسلين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We welcome you all to the first webinar on Hujjaj for the Hujjaj of 1445. This is the introductory webinar, basically on the way to Hajj 2024. This is a beautiful ayah from ayah number 27 from Surah Al-Hajj. وَأَذِنْ أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وَأَذِنْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالٌ وَعَلَى كُلِّ دَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proclaims in the Quran, and proclaim to the people of Hajj, they will come to you on foot and on every lean camel. They will come from every distant pass. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, you all have taken the first step towards being one of the people that has answered to the proclamation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah. Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So continuously keep reciting this ayah. Labbaik, Allahumma labbaik, labbaik, la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika lak. Frequently, as often as possible, get into the mood of being in the Hajj by reciting this ayah as often as possible. So I wanted to go over what is next for this group. This is the group of Hujjaj. So what is next that we have planned for? So first of all, we are going to start planning, developing the focus groups based on the service provider, the sisters group, regional group, the group by guides, etc., etc. Some of this we have already started. So make sure that you have joined some of these groups and keep active in this group. So again, one of the requests I have is I know many of you might not be used to Telegram. We are more used to the other social media, but please get active a little bit on this one because we are going to be posting information in the Telegram. The reason we chose Telegram is it gives more privacy to our members. People cannot look up your numbers. People cannot look up who all are in the group. And unfortunately, in the WhatsApp space, we could not protect that one. And people were unfortunately taking the information from there and using it incorrectly, fraudulently. So we want to protect your information. So that's the reason we moved to Telegram. So we'll start reviewing special requests and facilitate discussion with the service provider. And this will start collecting the information, what we probably will not be able to facilitate with the service provider, as most of the service providers are busy collecting and collating the information and the data of the Hujjaj from Nusuk and getting things organized. So that will go on until a little bit after Ramadan. So expect this to happen around the 15th to the 20th of April, inshallah. We'll start setting up the webinars to prepare for Hajj, to cover the travel documents, vaccinations, supplies, etc., and the logistics, what and how day by day of the journey. We'll also hold webinars on fiqh. We're going to start with the general fiqh session about the Hajj, etc. Then probably we'll continue having some follow-up fiqh session depending on what kinds of questions come up, etc. We'll also plan on webinar for the sisters only with the muallima so that you can ask some fiqh questions related specifically to the sisters. So the other thing we are going to continuously urge on this one: prepare for Hajj. Prepare for Hajj. Hajj is not a simple journey. Hajj is not a journey that you are probably used to going on vacations, etc. You require lots and lots of patience. Start practicing the patience. When you're on the road, somebody cuts you off, think of the fact that when you are in Hajj, how much more patience you want to have. That is nothing compared to the patience that is required during the Hajj. As much as the service providers, the guides, and everybody has planned everything together, things still happen. In the heat of Saudi Arabia, where it is very, very hot during this period of time, buses could be delayed. You could be standing outside. That's where you need the patience. The service provider might have arranged everything perfectly, but things do go wrong. The shuttle services from the hotels to the haram, that might be delayed, that might be not frequent. You need patience again. You need patience again and again and again. So practice the patience, practice the patience. We'll cover some of the challenges that a hujjaj might potentially go through so that we'll prepare you. We want to prepare you for hajj. We do not want to sugarcoat things. We want to prepare you for hajj so that when you're there, you make the most of the blessing that you have, instead of being impatient, instead of getting upset and losing the benefits of being hajj. So as we go through our training session, we are going to continuously keep hitting on this patience, patience, patience. At the individual level, we are going to start discussing on anybody that might have special needs, such as wheelchair, etc., how to prepare for that. We are going to work on that one. And we are also going to start doing some coordination between Hujjaj at the regional level, and much more as we go forward, inshallah ta'ala. So one of the questions that has come up is about vaccination. The vaccination that's required for the Nusuk countries is meningitis. Okay, the COVID vaccination is recommended, it's not required, but meningococcal vaccination is required. You need to take that at least 10 days before you travel for Hajj. Is it required before the visa is issued? No. Generally, it is something that gets required when you land in Saudi Arabia, but do not take it for granted that they may not. They will check for that, for the vaccination record, for the meningitis vaccination record. Make sure you have it ready. It may even be required before you board the flight. So meningitis vaccination is required. The common FAQs that we have been receiving is when and how visa would be issued, and when and how the air tickets would be issued. Visa is automatically issued through the Nusuk. You don't need to do anything. There is nothing required from your side, but give them a little bit of time. Everybody from Nusuk to the service providers to the guides, we are all very busy collecting the data, collating it, assessing it, reviewing it. This is a very busy time for the service provider and the Nusuk and the Ministry of Hajj. So you're not going to see the visa until about mid to end of April. The same thing about the tickets. You may not see the e-tickets, you may not see the detail of the tickets even until middle of May. It's possible. So do not get anxious, do not get excited, do not worry about it. It is perfectly fine if you're not getting the visa. One beautiful thing that the Minister of Hajj has done this year is they have started this entire process very much ahead of time. So this way you can start preparing. And the only thing that is not good about is people getting anxious about everything. In the past, people have received many of these things a week or two before the travel, but inshallah you will have this much before. So do not get anxious, do not continuously keep asking this question, because it's not going to change. You're not going to get this thing until mid to end of April. So just relax, inshallah everything will come through together. Connecting flights. Yes, you can start scheduling the connecting flights. Many people have asked the question: the will the dates change? Will anything that the flights are reflecting, can it change? Inshallah, it will not change. Just like any other flights, if something goes wrong, it is possible to change, but 90 to 95%, just like any other flights, I don't believe it'll change. I think it'll be perfectly fine. The only recommendation I have with connecting flights is give yourself time in case if your connecting flight cancels, in case if you have a challenge with the connecting flight, delayed, etc. You should have the opportunity either to drive to the gateway or at least make arrangements for another flight. Bear in mind, the flight to Jeddah, all the flights in those days will be extremely full. You cannot expect to make an alternate flight arrangement if you miss the flight that is scheduled for you from the gateway. So please make all arrangements to be at the gateway on time. That means if you can get a connecting flight the night before and spend the night in the gateway city, that is most preferable thing, so that the next morning you relax, you're not stressed out with your connecting flight being delayed, etc., etc. You're receiving, many people have been receiving emails for additional payment from Saudi, and maybe it might come from other airlines also. Ignore them. It has been clearly mentioned by Ministry of Hajj. Service provider have gotten this on authority from Nusuk and Ministry of Hajj, that there is an issue on their side. They have not been able to reconcile some of this information, but for now you do not need to worry about it. Just ignore these emails. There is nothing for you to worry about. When will the guides be assigned? Again, this is something, once the service provider gets all the data from Nusuk, inshallah ta'ala, they are going to assess, review, and then based on the listing that we provide them of our hujjaj, they are going to put that together, and then the guides will be assigned. So give at least mid to third week of April. So this is why we are repeatedly asking people to update the information, especially the passport number. Many people have asked the question about passport number. Passport number, the reason that is required is the service provider is going to use that information to compare against the data in the Nusuk. They want to make sure the guides, the groups, the teams that are providing them information, they're not just pulling the names from some social media, etc. They want to make sure it is authentic information that we are providing them. That is the reason we are requiring the passport number to be provided. So in case you cannot provide the passport number, the service provider will have a challenge comparing it against Nusuk and confirming that we are providing them the authentic information. E-wallet. People have been asking the question, can they withdraw the funds from there? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Uh, because if you have received the confirmation of your itinerary, etc., yes, you can. But bear in mind, the funds from the e-wallet, they may say processing, they might take it out of the e-wallet, but from our understanding, Nusuk and Ministry of Hajj have not started uh, process of the refunds. So you may not see the refunds in your accounts, in your bank accounts, in your credit card, probably mid to third week of April again, because of they are very busy with collecting the booking data basically. In a few minutes, Wasim will go through the e-wallet, the process of how to request the withdrawal. Inshallah, Ta'ala, he'll go through. Let me just quickly go through the rest of the things. Udhiya, the Qurbani, the term that is used for Qurbani during the Hajj time. This is a special term only for the Hajj time. It's called the Udhiya. Many of you probably do not have or did not have the opportunity option to select the Udhiya as part of the package. We will, inshallah ta'ala, will make arrangements for Udhiya. We can make the arrangements. We are working on that one. But even otherwise, there are several sites online, as well as there are counters in Saudi Arabia where you can buy the coupon for the Udhiya. But for a limited group of people, inshallah ta'ala, we should be able to arrange for the Udhiya. We'll release this information later on as it becomes available. We are working on it as to the cost, etc. Generally, we make this available almost at cost without adding any additional fee to that. But we will inform you. We'll keep you updated, inshallah. Questions have come about Rauda, the visit to the Rauda, which is in Masjid al-Nabwi, visiting the site of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is generally arranged by the service provider. One visit at least is provided by the service provider. You do not need to book it in the Nusuk app, the Nusuk app, which is on your phone that you have to download. Okay, so but if you want to make additional visit to the Rauda, yes, you can do that. But one visit is generally arranged by the service provider. The ziyarah in Makkah and Medina, some of the packages have included this, but most of the packages have not included this. We can again, for the people who are going to be in our group, inshallah ta'ala, we should be able to make this arrangement for some small additional fee, inshallah ta'ala. Now, the special request, occupancy. Occupancy is something that you have to be very careful. Okay, so the occupancy is, if you have, unless you have selected double or triple and you have a family of a double or triple, most probably it's going to be gender based. Can you request for occupancy for your need? Yes, Rawaf especially has said that they will take it into consideration, but for every bed that they remove from the room, they are going to charge 5,000 reals. So for every bed, for example, if it's a quad room and you want it to become a double room, they have to take out two beds. So that means they are going to charge 10,000 reals, and this is something that you are going to have to pay directly to the service provider. So, but again, that is based on availability. If it's available, the service provider would accommodate, inshallah ta'ala. Quickly going back to e-wallet, the funds in e-wallet could have been used only for the package. You cannot use it for anything else. You cannot use it for paying for the UDIA. You cannot use it to pay for the occupancy, extra occupancy requests, etc. So you may as well go ahead and start withdrawing from that one. Flight changes. Uh, Generally, flight changes are very difficult. Okay, yeah, you can definitely, once you get the ticket, you can call the airline and request for the flight changes. But bear in mind, when you do that, one, they are going to charge you for the changes, the change fee, as well as it is very highly possible if you have a group flight and if you are asking for a change, they may take you off the special fare that was applied and apply whatever the market fare is. So you have to be extremely careful with this one. Camp changes almost impossible at this point in time. If you are in Al Masim, if you're going to request for Al Kabsh, as you all know, Al Kabsh quota ran out. So most probably, I mean, almost I'm certain by 99% you cannot get the camp changes done at this point in time. Wasim, you want to go through the e-wallet quickly, please?
So yeah, we have been getting a lot of questions about, like Fariba mentioned, should we withdraw our funds, right? If you have already booked a package and there was extra loaded in your account and you would like to withdraw it, you can do that now. You will not be able to use this e-wallet for other, transactions that you would do like while traveling, right? So this was purely for buying packages through Nusuk. Uh, if you have funds and were not, and somebody was not who is watching this recording has not been able to book a package yet, you can wait for a little bit because there is a chance that some more quota might get released. So the refunds might not happen anytime soon anyways. It is probably best to wait for a little bit, get some confirmation if there's going to be a second round, a third round, I mean, and then withdraw it. But yeah, if you've already booked, there's extra funds, you can withdraw it now. Now, what you will do in order to withdraw is you will go to my wallet, you log into your profile, go to my wallet, and there is an option here to say withdrawal. Now when you do withdrawal, it will say request history or new request, right? So you want to do a new request if you're doing it for the first time. So say new request, and it will pop up some messages here, right? One is that it can take several days. The refunded amount will be different. So when you charge it against your credit card, for example, you might have gotten one exchange rate. The exchange rate is different now while returning. So you will get the current exchange rate when the refund goes through. And if you did it through a bank, you would need to provide that bank information. If it was done through a card, it will be refunded to the same card back, right? So in this case, in this specific place, I have 10 reals. You want to note that there is some processing fees, right? Again, we have been talking about this. There's 1.5 percent processing fees, which is 0.15, and then they also do add a 15% withdrawal fee, VAT on it. There was questions about whether this should be the case, but if you try to top up new now and you go to the top up screen, it actually now they have updated text to say processing fees and VAT. And then they mentioned this also for bank accounts as well. So, but yeah, like in this case, I have 10 real left in my account, and I would like when I withdraw, I'm going to get 983, and then because it's a US card, I will be then getting the US conversion rate for that period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and click withdraw. When you click withdraw, and it's going to say, are you sure you want to submit the refund request? Say yes. Now it is going to send a OTP code. So let me quickly check that. My email. So it'll say the refund request has been sent. You will be notified if there are any updates to the request. Click OK. Now you can see there is a withdrawal request here, the date, you can see the amount, and it's waiting for approval. So again, if you request it now, it will probably take some time. Once it gets approved, then it's going to come back on your card. So be aware that there is some wait. Like I said, if so, you will not see on your credit card right away. So yeah, that was quick. Yeah, inshallah, it's a pretty straightforward process. But yeah, if you have already booked and you have extra funds, you can withdraw it. If you haven't booked it yet, wait for a little bit for third round to see if there is anything more coming out from the Hajj ministry.
Okay. Jazakallah khair, Brother Wasim. A quick update on the VAT, this one. Ministry of Hajj has made the determination that it was not right for them to be charging that VAT. By the time, even though your screen might say it, don't worry about it. When they are going to process, they are going to take the VAT charges off. So you're not going to see that deducted from your amount, inshallah ta'ala. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is good,
so
mashallah. That's yeah, because a lot of people had this concern that
right, right.
VAT should be for a service, not for a refund. So that's good, alhamdulillah.
Right. So they have made the decision that this was done in error, so it should be fine. Okay. So just to quickly say, these are the guides that we have. There are actually a few additional guides that we are possibly going to be adding. If you are with Rawaf and if you have assigned us to be the guides, we are going once we get the confirmation from Rawaf, we are going to start assigning the guides to you, inshallah ta'ala. We also have scholars, Mufti Muhammad, Mufti Ahmed, and Mauli Mahira. Inshallah ta'ala, they will be joining in the group chat as well as in the webinars on specific webinars future going on, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so I saw a few questions. Let me quickly answer them quickly. Meningitis shot. You can take the meningitis shot right now. You don't need to wait for 10 days. What I meant is it has to be at least 10 days before. You cannot take it 5 days before the journey. It has to be 10 days or more at least. So you can go ahead and take the meningitis shot. So someone else asked the question that you got a meningitis shot when you're young. You have to check with your medical provider. The meningitis shot has to be taken. There is a expiry period. There is a 5 year, 7 year, depending on which type of meningitis shot you took. So you most probably will have to take the meningitis shot again. There was a question about leaving the funds in the e-wallet for spending during the Hajj time. As I answered earlier, e-wallet is only for purchasing the package and for no other purpose. There was a fiqh question. I'll go ahead and answer it, but you need to hold off the fiqh questions. If you do the udiyah in during the Hajj time, do you also have to do the qurbani back home on your behalf? No, you don't. The udiyah that you perform there is the qurbani, so you don't need to do any more udiyah qurbani locally from your city, basically. There were a few other questions. Wasim, do you want to go ahead and read that for me, if you don't mind?
Yeah, there was one question about somebody whose status has changed, right?
Yes,
Earlier they
yes, yes.
were a permanent resident, now they have
Right.
become a citizen.
Right, right. Okay, I read that one. So what you want to do in that case is you should drop an email to Nusuk with all the new documentation and have them make an update to that one. So once you do that one, you should make the ticket available to the guide that you're working with, so that they can follow. They can have the service provider follow up on that one. So when you send the email to support.nusuk.sa, support at nusuk.sa, make sure that you include the copies of your the new passport, and also mention which permanent residency thing goes off, basically. Okay, next.
Uh, yeah, somebody asking, can I leave the funds in the that we
No,
already addressed?
no.
About meningitis, they're saying that do we need a doctor's note to get that?
Well, there are a few different ways of doing it. Okay, several of the Muslim doctors in local communities during the Hajj time, they will start stocking meningitis shot to help you. So you can check with your local doctors. Basically, that's one. The other option is that you can go to the health department. There are health clinics that are county based. you can go and check with them. They would be able to willing to give it to you. Otherwise, yes, you do need a prescription from your doctor.
And next question is that people are asking that for if they wanted to do a travel on their own, like the bus service provider is providing a bus from between Makkah and Medina, they want to take a train, can they do that?
Mhm. Okay. Yes, you can do that, but I would highly recommend and that you work with your guide and service provider to make sure that when you are traveling, for example, from Medina to Mecca, when you go there, your hotel would be ready and available, or they would not be searching for you, looking for you if you do not coordinate with them. So yes, it is possible, but you need to work with your guide and service provider before you make those arrangements.
Next
One other
is
question on that one. Several times this question has been asked before. Uh, if you are taking a custom flight, or if for any reason your flight is delayed, the service providers will arrange for your transportation from the airport to your hotel, whichever hotel it is, whichever airport you come into. I mean, I'm sorry, I want to clarify that. If whether you're coming into Jeddah or Medina, the service provider will make arrangements to transfer you from the airport to the hotel. And in most cases, it is going to be by bus. Next.
okay. People asking if I use multiple cards to load my e-wallet, will it all come to its own card or will it come to the most recent card?
It will funds will go back to the same card that you used. It'll go to the if you use multiple cards, the funds that were assigned to each one of those cards, it's going to go back to that one straight. Or if you did it at the bank, it'll go to your bank. Wherever it came from, it's going to go back to that one. That is at least our understanding, and that's how they have handled previously, and I expect that to happen the same way this time also.
Yeah, similar question, somebody else's card, so yeah, it should go back to the same card that he was used. Uh, some questions about flight changes. People have done custom flights, then now they want to make changes. So yeah,
What we are going to do is we are going to put out a URL where you can go in and put your requests in your specific cases, and inshallah ta'ala, if it is with the Rawaf, if you are with Rawaf, we'll follow up with that one. Now, if you are with MCDC, or if you are with Al Bayt, or with ITRA, we have created the group chats for that. You should go and you should put the request in, and Brother Muhammad from Adam Travels in for Al Bayt, and Brother Muhammad from Jannah Tour in MCDC, and Brother Khalil, who is our team member in working with ITRA. They will help you and they will guide you through that one. Okay. But if it is for Rawaf, and if you are part of our group, share that information with us, and inshallah ta'ala, we will try to follow up and see what can possibly be done. As I said earlier, if it is a group flight, it is difficult. If it is a custom flight, when you get the ticket information, you can call the airline directly and request the changes that you are asking for.
about meningitis vaccine, somebody's asking about the exact name of the vaccine.
I think what I'm going to leave for that one is approach your doctor or your local health clinic, or even in many cases the pharmacies also will carry that one. They will tell you specifically which one you should take, and we will put out the specific name in the Nusuk website. It is there. We will also put it out in our group chat, inshallah, ta'ala, the link to that.
Uh, will the service provider make travel arrangements from Makkah to Medina and from Mina to all other cities?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes,
Somebody's saying
all
that
the
they
transportation in Saudi Arabia, excepting the one from Jamarat to the hotel, or the shuttle that the hotel provides, even the service provider do have it. But after the 4th of Dhul Hijjah, up to the beginning of the Hajj, they are not going to provide it. But the transportation from the airport to the hotel, from one city to the next city, and from your hotel to Mina camp, Mina to Arafat to Muzdalifah and back, will all be there. We are going to cover some of these things when we get into the logistics, inshallah. Hold off on these questions.
Then somebody is asking, like, they wanted to use the survey doc to ask questions, but they were not sure how to get responses from that. So
We,
what is the best way to ask questions if they have it?
we have a question blog that we are going to refresh and release inshallah ta'ala. You can ask questions in there, and we'll put the responses back in the Telegram group chat. We are also going to open the Telegram group chat on Saturday and Sunday for a few hours, so that we can answer the question. One of the reason we keep it blocked is with people asking and chatting with each other, the important information that we want to release gets lost in it, and then people will start chatting, and it'll become irritant to some people. So that's the reason we have kept it blocked. But we will open it occasionally. So while we are monitoring it, so that we can answer the questions and we can monitor the questions being asked. Inshallah. Ta'ala.
Uh, yeah, there's questions about some logistics. Hold up on these questions, but yeah,
Hold off
there's
on the
questions.
logistics, please.
Yeah,
Logistics
can I
and
get
fiqh, hold off on it.
SIM card? You'll address all that. How to get once we get to that. We will sort of discuss how you're getting
Right,
SIM cards, wearing a haram, when to wear a haram. Inshallah, we all cover all that. So right now, basically, the focus should be, from now until what are the immediate steps you want to do, right? Uh,
right.
so next is, how long is it good for? Somebody had meningitis they had taken 2 years ago. Is it still okay?
It depends on the vaccination, the type of vaccination you have taken. The best thing is for you to take those records and take it to a pharmacy, and they will tell you if it has expired or if it is still good. There are meningitis shots which are 2 years good, which are good for 2 years, which are good for 5 years. So you need to really check with the pharmacy or your doctor.
A lot of questions about flight changes and hotel changes. Can I change my hotel? I want to change the dates. I want to change the flight. Adding connecting flights. A lot of questions around that. Yeah.
Right. Again, the connecting flight, as I said, based on the information you have of your flight that you have purchased through the package, you can go ahead and make your connecting flight arrangements. And again, I want to repeat: make sure you give enough time for any kind of challenges with your connecting flight. Now, as far as flight changes, as I said earlier, you can go ahead and put the request in, but it is generally very challenging to make changes to the flight. What the service provider would ask you to do is to contact the airline directly and see if you can make the changes. Because, as I said earlier, there could be fare changes, there could be change fees, etc. So, in most cases, the service provider themselves will not make the change. They might offer you some options, but in most cases, you will have to make this on your own. And we'll guide you through this later on, inshallah.
Yeah. Some people are saying that, yeah, their primary member got added to the Telegram group. They have additional family members who are also going and would like to get added to the Telegram group.
Message me and I will let you know how to do that one. Okay. Yes, we do want all the members that are in the account to be in the Telegram, in our group chat, so that they can get the information directly and help each other out. The Hajas group, please, I because I saw some names there which did not sound female. Maybe the sisters are using their husbands accounts to log in. Please do not do that. Please create your own account, because I want to make sure, we need to make sure that group is secluded for the sisters to ask questions that are private. They should feel comfortable asking those questions. So if you are using your husband's account, please immediately exit out of that one and create your own account and join back. Please, this is a very humble request. If we find any violation, we will block you from that group. That group is meant only for the sisters. I am there right now just as an admin, but as soon as we get the Muallima into that account, and Sister Samina is going to be the admin on that one, I'm going to come out of that group also.
Yeah, some people are saying that in some cases, again, this changes from country to country, and they are saying that the pharmacy allows them to do it without prescription, also the vaccination.
Right.
Some people are asking about other service providers. how to get info about other service providers.
I think we have shared about some of them. I mean, we can definitely talk about the ITRA, MCDC. We have also shared a group chat for Al Raji. We could not make any arrangements with them to support our Hujjaj, but there is a group chat that we have shared that you can get in touch with them. MCDC, Al Bayt, and ITRA and MCDC. These are the ones that we have at least made arrangements with. Rawaf, of course, we are there. Now, one humble request: please be careful sharing your information with other groups, especially the ones who claim to be Rawaf. If you have already signed up with us, it only creates confusion for all of us, basically. So if you have signed up us up as guide, if you're trusted in us, please keep the trust. Inshallah ta'ala, will make the best arrangements for you. Anything
Uh,
else?
yeah, the questions about like how many nights are we going to stay in Mina? Again, we can.
We
You want to
will
cover that?
cover
Or
that. We'll cover that as per, because there are fiqh related. That is very much fiqh related question. There are requirements as to how many nights you have to stay in Mina. That is something we'll cover in the fiqh session. We'll have the muftis cover that one, so that you get it right from the muftis directly, inshallah.
Some people are asking about vaccination because the Nusuk website also mentions polio and yellow fever.
No, 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 no. Those requirements are for not for the at least not for U.S., Europe, and Australia, etc. That those requirements are more coming from Africa and possibly for some South America. You probably should check that one. But if you are in North America and Europe, that mostly does not apply to you.
Yeah,
Okay,
look at they will say, for example, for yellow fever, there's a list of countries which it applies for, right? So that's so if you are from that country, then you need it. Otherwise, you
right.
don't. And then the yeah, I think mostly the same questions around flights and hotel changes. Uh, we can open up the audio for brothers or sisters to ask questions. So if you want to ask a question,
Yeah,
I can unmute you or allow you to unmute. But yeah, do note that these are getting recorded and will be uploaded on
right.
social media.
And please do not ask questions about fiqh, and please do not ask questions about logistics. We'll cover that at a later time, inshallah. Go ahead. Anybody?
So yeah, I think one hand is raised up. Brother Parvez, let me try to unmute him.
We actually we are running beyond our time,
Okay.
so we can take a few questions if there are.
Okay. Let's see if the brother is still there or not.
So in the
Or,
meantime, if anybody has still not joined our the Hujjaj group, and if you would like to join, please use this QR code. You don't have to sign us up as your guide to join our Hujjaj group. We are committed to supporting and helping everybody that is planning on going for Hajj. But of course, if you are part of, if your package is a Rawaf package, we would definitely appreciate you putting the trust in us and selecting us as your guides. Okay, but it's not a requirement. Go ahead. Somebody, go ahead and ask the
so
question.
brother Suleiman, I think I allowed you to unmute if you want to ask a question. Yeah, some of them I think have gone. Yeah, so yeah, there are other questions about can you confirm guides speak English? Yes, inshallah they all speak
All the
English.
guides speak English. There are some that speak Arabic and Urdu also, but every guide that we have speaks English.
My flight is going from Washington to Riyadh before going to Jeddah. Will there be support in Riyadh for the connection?
No, Riyadh, there will not, because that's basically just a transit location. Okay,
Okay.
the authorities in Riyadh, they will transfer you from domestic, international to domestic airport. You will be the service providers would be there in Jeddah and Medina, not in Riyadh.
Go
Okay.
ahead, brother Parvez. Yeah, so I'm gonna call out
Huh.
names. I've allowed mic for everybody, but I would request everybody to, inshallah, when I call out names, you can ask.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers, and thanks for arranging this seminar. Just one question. On the previous slide, you mentioned some of the guides' name. Are they US specific or are they UK ones as well? Because a lot
The,
of people are joining from UK as well on this
okay.
seminar.
We are supporting people from all over the Nusuk countries, by the way. There are people from Australia, there are people from Europe, there are people even from Japan. Okay, so we are going to be providing guide to everybody. At this point in time, our guides are US based, but we are going to be there for you, no matter which country you're coming from.
Jazakallah. Thank you.
Okay.
Brother Junaid M, you want to ask a question?
Yes, brother. Assalamu alaikum. I
Walaikum
have
salam.
purchased a non-USA for Al Khair package. Uh, I have also submitted my information to you be my guide. So should I continue looking for the guide or should I just count on you to be my guide?
I'm wondering. I could not hear it properly, but I think you're asking me the question if you should continue with us. Please continue with us. Okay, we are here. We will provide you the guide. No matter, we will be there to provide the full guidance in the Hajj, etc. See, what Nusuk has done this time is they have taken out the dependency of countries specifically. You are going to land and you are going to be in the same hotels as everyone else, so we will be there to welcome you at the hotels and take care of you there. And in the before that, of course, we are here to completely provide you the full support.
Jazakallah khair.
Brother Farid, how many questions would you like to take? There are few hands.
Let's take two more questions because we already missed the Asr time.
Okay, Sister Gulnaz.
Assalamu alaikum. So I
Walaikum
have
salam.
two quick questions. One, my package, so my trip ends in Medina, but my flight out is from Jeddah. So is the tour operator going to provide transportation
Yes.
from Medina? Yes, they will. Okay,
Yes.
alhamdulillah. Second question is my mahram is my nephew and his wife are going together. So we tried to book it with triple rooms so the three of us could stay together. The problem is they got in the first round of booking. I got in the second round of booking. So how can we make it so that our tour provider knows that we want to stay together?
Okay. It depends on what you booked. If you booked as a triple for both, in both you and your nephew and his wife,
Yes.
then you would get a triple room together. I'm assuming you got the same package. I'm hoping.
We did, alhamdulillah, we got the same package, but
Alhamdulillah.
how are we
Alhamdulillah.
going to let the tour operator know that we're together?
What you do is you would let your guide know. Okay, if
Okay.
we are your guide, just let us know when we start collecting the information from you, and that you're all together, and inshallah ta'ala we will try to make it happen. Again, it depends on what occupancy you picked. I just want to be careful. Okay, if you both of you pick triple, for example, then we can put you in the triple. Otherwise, it'll go based on the quad. But in some cases, depending on the availability of the room, service provider might accommodate the three of you even if you have not picked it. But again, that's all depending on the availability. We will work with you, inshallah. We'll try to help you wherever we can.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Thank you, jazakallah.
Inshallah, last question, Khan.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, for all the support. It was really helpful for us to book the package. My question is, my package is with Abdul Latif Jamil Real Estate Investment Company. Would you be supporting that service provider as a guide?
Unfortunately, we cannot. Unfortunately, we cannot. Part of the reason was because of the enormous demand that we had. Our guides are spread out quite a bit at this point in time. Okay, and going with multiple providers was becoming very challenging. So unfortunately, we cannot. But we are here for you until your Hajj journey starts. Okay. Anything that we can provide, all the training, all the preparation, etc. We are committed to making sure you get that one.
Okay, Jazakallah. So the guide is somebody which is going to travel with us and all perform the Hajj, or is he just going to be local in US or UK, wherever?
No. A guide is a guide's responsibilities. personal responsibility starts once you land in Saudi Arabia, basically. Okay.
Okay.
Of course, the support, the getting you prepared, everything. Of course, a guide would do it. Some guides are better than the others. We are very committed to doing that, no matter whether you are with us or not. As probably as you've seen, as you've done before, we are not committed to any service provider from preparing for you. Okay, but the guide's responsibility starts from the time you land there to the time you're back at the airport to return back. So they will be with you, inshallah. Inshallah. Now, having said that, I do want to caution you, it all depends on the guides. And that's the reason we kept asking people, please make sure you pick the package, and depending on how much you trust the guides, basically. Okay. So now, even now, we are very highly requesting people, especially from Rawaf, be careful who you pick as guide. We are not asking you not to pick other guides, but we just want you to be careful, because there are some guides that are very good. There are some guides who are not committed. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So uh, I'm sorry, is there one question coming?
Oh, Jazakallah, Jazakallah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So yeah, so the flight that we got, the itinerary, is this the final itinerary that we got, or it will change later?
The flight information is final. Okay. I mean, let me put it this way, as final as any flight can be, right? So that is not going to change. As to the hotels, it's not going to change. Okay. So your camp is not going to change. I'm just quickly going through that to understand where you are going to expect changes in the itinerary. Okay. If it is telling you the bus transportation, that is not going to change. So inshallah ta'ala, your itinerary is fixed at this point in time. Okay. Unless you decide to make some changes to that. Okay. All right. Jazakallah khair for attending. Anything good that has come out of this session is purely the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If there is any error in what we have said, if we have made any kind of blunders in our presentation, I I request for the apology, and I ask for forgiveness, inshallah ta'ala. Other than that, please remember us in your du'as, and we'll continue with this preparation, inshallah ta'ala.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I ask you a question before you wrap up?
Go ahead.
Yeah. My question is, currently when people are going to Umrah, they need to make pre-appointment or schedule for Umrah. So when we'll go for Hajj, inshallah, do you think we need to make a schedule first and then we have to go to Umrah, or it will be like open for everybody like used to?
Okay. As per the information that we have at this point in time, the Umrah permit is not required. But will they possibly change that? I don't know that. But I would expect them not to do that, because it does get very time consuming. So, short answer is no, but anything can possibly change. Okay. So, wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa amilus salihati, wa tawasaw bil haqqi, wa tawasaw bis sabr. Please continue reading the tabiyah that we shared earlier. Inshallah ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.